Okay, can you guys hear me? Hello, anybody there? Hello, hello, hello. Let me know, let me know, let me know. I'm just waiting on you guys. Let me know. Sorry, I just like completely clicked out of the entire window, and when I brought it back up, it didn't didn't get the sound again. Let me know, let me know, let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Beautiful. Okay, good. Sorry. All right. So take two. All right. First, again, I'm just going to run through what I said really quickly. All right. So, for any new members to the group, we're going to do onboarding next week for October. I'm going to try and segment it now so that when people join in the middle of the month, they're kind of really behind. So, I'm only going to have windows where you can join in, and it's going to be the last week. I'm going to give you guys an onboarding the week before, and then as we get going in October, everything will move smoothly again. So that's that. Second, we went through our economic data. I'll run through that really quickly again, just so I'm just going to delete the last video because it cut out. But first would be on Monday morning, 9:45 a.m. You have flash manufacturing PMI and services PMI. I don't really care about the data really for anything that I'm talking about right now. It's just the times that are important to me. Tuesday, we have 10 o'clock consumer confidence. Wednesday, we have nothing, orange folder, home sales at 10 a.m., but not a red folder event. Thursday, we have GDP and unemployment claims in the morning. And right before market open, 9:20, we have speaking. Friday, we have GDP and core PCE. So there's a lot going on this week. And if I'm not mistaken, we also have uh, uh, um, we have earnings coming. Sorry. So we have earnings coming up as well. So packed week. We got a lot of stuff to get to. I have a couple of names that I want to show you guys. And then I had posted something a little while ago about names that you guys want to take a look at. So we could do that too. If you have a name, just drop it in that tweet because when it gets in the chat, sometimes it gets lost and I don't want it to get lost. So last thing, if you haven't watched the price reading seminar, I encourage you to do so. I think you'll learn something new and I think it'll be really beneficial to you. That was from the other day, Thursday night. So without further ado, let's get this. Hopefully I don't click the off button again. Okay, we should be good now, right? Let me know in the chat if we're all good here, but I'm going to get just for time purposes now. First things first, you will notice that we have 9 days left. So next week, we're going to do a monthly prep, like how we do weekly every week. We do monthly at the first of every month to kind of see if we have any new monthly setups that are track the previous ones that we've talked about in the swings chat, and just moving. But you'll notice last month we got into this bullish order block, down close candle followed by an up close that takes out the open of the previous. Price wicks in, price gets so far so good. Not the cleanest of setups, right? So at some point or another, I would not be shocked that we went and got these, right? But I'm not going to be the guy to try and say, oh, it's coming next week because there's nothing really here to indicate that to me. I prefer an imbalance to form. And when that imbalance forms, I will strike on that. But until then, nothing. I'm going to do SPY simultaneously with NASDAQ here just because I know a lot of people don't trade QQQ, they trade SPY, so that's fine. But clearly, all-time highs again. Got into these two bullish imbalances over the last 2 months and so far lifted off up and through, creating a new all-time high. You will notice that since October of 2022, that low, we have not yet retraced down into discount. Now, that's fine, but we just have to go into it understanding that anything up in here, we're still technically in premium. We do not know when this range is going to set. Okay. And until I see an imbalance to the downside, like we have historically multiple times, I have no interest in trying to call top on this. I will allow it to continue to play out the way that it has been. And, just calling top, not only are you wrong in terms of direction, but also you're missing out on the opportunity of being long in that situation and moving higher. So until I see an imbalance, and why do I say until I see an imbalance? Basically, if you just go back historically, those imbalances are the ones that offer you, the indication throughout history. Every time that we formed an imbalance, we have shown continued downside into discount. Okay, it's clockwork. It happens essentially every single time that we've gotten a discount retracement. The imbalance is the indicator in that sense, right? So that's just from a monthly perspective. We'll dive deeper into that as we go next week. But with the weekly, we'll take a look here. Nice move out of this bullish imbalance. Remember, we talked about this being a little sloppy while ES was really, really pure and beautiful here. Hold on. Really, really nice move out of this discounted imbalance. Low, to your high, discount, bullish imbalance. Look how it tagged 50%. Come on now. Up and through, Manda model complete. And we completed the all-time high last week. So we reached up above. Now, the next order of business is you'll notice that we're at all-time highs on SPY, but we're not quite there on NASDAQ, okay? You'll see I have this imbalance here labeled as showtime, right? So at this point, I'm going to be a little hands-off. This is about 250 points, but from this point, I really want to see, do we create imbalance up through to offer us some insight that we will get that continuation type move, or are we going to sweep into it and retrace and ultimately get down into a lower time frame imbalance, or even go get liquidity down here? That's just my question. Knowing that we took out that higher time frame liquidity on ES, that is just a little bit on edge, and it's not as clear cut beyond that imbalance. So I do believe we get up into there. What is that, about 200 points, 300 points away? Do believe we get into there, and from that point I am going to be a little hands off until I see the reaction out of this level. Is it up? Is it down? Beyond that, I can continue playing, right? Think about it. If I'm taking this 250 points off and we were to, convincingly create an imbalance up and through this showtime imbalance, right? At that point, now I feel like I can be on the right side of this trade for another, what is this, 700, 800 points? That's fine by me. You can make a ton of money doing that. And then on the flip side of that, if we were to start to reject lower, I could start to look for lower prices. And at that point, I can be on the right side of things for quite a few points as well. So, to me, I would just much rather have that additional information when it's presented to me, rather than just trying to jump it and, oh, yep, I'm short, nice, and try and call top, because more often than not, you're probably going to get stopped out when the bull train is continuously moving the way that it has. Now, to drop it down into the daily time frame here on NASDAQ, you'll notice you have your low to your high. You have a discount retracement, and ultimately looking for a Mando model up here at 20,256. Yesterday on Twitter, you probably saw my rampage, but if you didn't, go back and check. I just went through like 10 names that completed the Mando model over the last week or so, just to show you that this is something that's repeatable. This is something that you can back test. This is something that you can prove and feel good about. And I think confidence is really half the battle, because how many times have you been in a trade and it's not going your way off the jump, and you get out of it, and then a little while later it goes off, right? It's just because you don't have confidence in what you're doing. You haven't practiced it enough. You haven't proven it to yourself that this is a model or setup that works over and over and over again. Okay. But that's where we're at with NASDAQ on a daily time frame. And of course, we had the higher time frame sweep here on ES. So this also remains to be seen. We did not create the imbalance up and through. So a retracement at this point wouldn't be all that crazy. But ultimately, going back to NASDAQ and just the overall drawn liquidity, I believe it's that showtime imbalance right up here. Okay. So last thing, I wanted to show you guys this get edge full. And this is really can be helpful when you're looking from a smaller time frame perspective and your intraday trading. And this, I like this a lot, because this plays into kind of my model in a sense as well, or my setup. Model, setup, interchangeable word, whatever, however you want to use it. But this plays into it as well, because one thing that I'm really big on, and it's from past trauma, is not buying in premium, right? Not overpaying for something that's not quite discounted or fair value at that point, right? When you get to 50% of a range, you'll see fair value or equilibrium of a specific price range, right? I don't want to be buying up in premium, right? And I bring this stat out. This, all of Edgeful's stuff really is good because it's factual. It's not made up stuff where you say, oh, this 9 moving average did this. No, it's backed by data, right? So if they have the data for this, so for example, we're looking right here at how often price retraces back to midnight, okay? And you'll see the numbers here. Obviously, 65% we've opened above and ultimately retraced to it. And this, very similarly, 66% open below and ultimately retraced to that midnight level. That is important. And, that kind of boosts the thesis of, if we get a run leading into, market open, for example, right, when we're getting ready to, push our buttons, do our thing, you're going to notice that price oftentimes is going to give you a second opportunity, right? 2/3 of the time, based on this data, right? This is real. This is something that has actually happened. 2/3 of the time, you're going to get that retracement back, right? So if you see that we're diving off of open, right, and you jump into those puts real quick, right, and we haven't retested midnight open, we might go test midnight open. That might stop you out of your trade. And then ultimately price goes the direction you want and you're out of it. You're sitting on the sidelines with an L, right? So this type of perspective, I think, is really useful because it's actual information that actually happens. It's not just, oh, this is, it's not just like made up. Oh yeah, this trend line did this. No, this actually happened. And that's why I value a lot of this stuff on Edgeful, because it's, actual data. It's an accumulation of things that, in the past I would look towards, but I didn't like have the means to actually like, mark this data and like keep it in a way that it's easy to visually see. So I just wanted to show you guys that because I thought that was pretty good. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff on there too that you could look towards. But that one, it just plays right into the overall idea of like buying in premium, and again, that's a personal thing. Like I used to do that a lot because I said, oh, price is going to 20,256. I'm just going to buy it and I'm going to hold on to it until it gets there. Well, if you're trading options, theta could kick in. There's a lot of things that can go against you in that situation. And I try to avoid that. So, but that's what I wanted to go through there. Let's keep rolling here. So I got some individual names that I want to personally look at. There's a bunch on Twitter here that we're going to go through as well. Again, if you're watching on X, drop a like, please. Let me know in the comments. Same thing here on Rumble, YouTube, whatever. The weekly preps are usually going to be across all platforms. So you're lucky. If not, just get on Rumble. All right. Anyways, let's go into some of these individual names that I wanted to look at. So first, I wanted to take a peek at Tesla. This was a focal point in our price reading seminar. So if you want some more additional information, go check that out. But your low to your high, you got your discount retracement into a bullish imbalance and bullish breaker. Okay. And so far, so good. We've already tapped this one. We closed above this weekly imbalance. Very encouraging moving forward. Ultimately, I think Tesla's going to 271 to complete the Mando model here on the weekly time frame. Really a nice one. And, the reason I've been on Tesla for so long and playing these price fluctuations is due to the fact that this idea really stems from a yearly chart breaking down into a monthly looks good, weekly looks good, daily looks good, and then I can kind of maneuver on the smaller time frames as a way to not buy in premium, get it in discount, and ultimately reap the benefits. So Tesla is just another one where it's been one that I've been focused on for a while, but this is it remains a focal point for me due to the fact that it's really lining up on all different time frames. So Tesla has been number one watch for a couple weeks. It's going to remain that way. Second up, I want to look at Palo Alto. So I got into this the other day on Thursday, and this is going to be a little bit shorter of a price swing, but nonetheless, it's still a good one. So if we were to take a look from our low on the weekly to our high, here's your discount retracement into your bullish imbalance. And ultimately, the Mando model completes at 380. If you were just to type in on X at Mando Trading with the $ PANW, you will see that from this point back in April, basically said Mando model completes at 380. I know it sounds crazy at the time, right? That's, oh my gosh, that's $110. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's going to take time, but price is going to do what price is going to do. And we are approaching that pretty rapidly. But what is intriguing to me on a smaller time frame perspective, I guess you could say, is that here, if we look at it from our weekly perspective, and when we break it down into smaller time frames, you're going to see how this is lining up on all of our time frames. We can even look on the monthly too. Let's do that. So Palo Alto, okay, low-hanging fruit objective right here for your little draw on liquidity. We are well in premium of our monthly range, but that is a-okay. Let's go to the weekly. From your low to your high, here's your discount retracement. Notice how we tag 50%, hold this bullish imbalance right here, and so far so good, and we almost got an immediate reaction. We also have a bullish breaker right here, low, high, lower low, break up and through, retracement back down into your breaker, and so far so good. I want to see us leave it quickly. Here's your daily. Very similarly, you have your low to your high. Here's your discount retracements with a 3 drives lower. 1, 2, 3. We got to get above this daily imbalance, and once that happens, I think we see that 375.28 pretty quickly. Now here's where the fun was, and this is where what I used as the compass, if you will, to get me into this. So here it is. Let me just map out some more of this. Okay. There's a big imbalance here, half of it in premium, half not. Okay. So ideally, I waited for a 50% retracement prior to just getting up in that. We also had a bullish breaker. Let me map this out for you guys. Okay. Low, high, lower, low, break up and through, retracement back down into discount of that bullish range, bullish imbalance check, bullish breaker check, run up through highs, Mando model complete. So that trade was entered on Thursday, accumulated in early Friday, and there she goes. So already right off the bat, what is that? That's a $6, $5 move. Pretty good. So now as we continue higher here, we have one little imbalance here that we got into. Whoops. Okay. And that was ultimately where we stopped the party on Friday. But you got another imbalance overhead. This kind of lines up with your daily imbalance. And beyond that, looking good. So Palo Alto is going to be one of the names that I'm keeping as a focal point going into next week as well. I like the setup, and going to continue staying on task with that one. So that is Palo Alto. Now, next we got AMD. AMD has been one that we've been talking about for a few weeks now, but low, high, lower, low, break up and through, bullish breaker. You have your low to your high that took out this high. That's your new range. You got your retracement back down into your discount bullish imbalance and bullish breaker. No imbalances left to fill overhead. Let's see some fireworks, baby. So yeah, ideally, once we get over that 162.21 level, which I believe is next, that's going to be some fun. And this is from a monthly perspective. So look, while we can have the ultimate idea of 227, that doesn't mean that 227 is coming next week, right? I just want to be on the right side of things. So if I can formulate my bias or that secret sauce to be on the right side of things, that's going to benefit me here in the long run, even if I'm short scalping options or short-term scalping options, right? I'm not looking down, we're bullish. But same thing, low, high, discount retracement, bullish imbalance, check. This imbalance is really the place to beat. 162.04, that's that level that we had identified previously. That's the level to beat. Up and through there, we see 187.28 as the next draw on liquidity. And then we got a couple more imbalances as we move our way higher. But AMD is a nice setup as well. I like this one a lot. A lot of the semis are starting to come around here after their fade, NVIDIA being another one. This is just an area that we talked about last week. We got to get up and through. But that is AMD. So that was the third. And I think Microsoft was the last one, because Microsoft, I had a funny little tweet about. But looking at it from a monthly perspective, turtle soup, right? We took out the low inside a bullish price range, got deeper into a bullish imbalance here on the monthly time frame, and so far so good. Come on over to the weekly. Okay, from your low to your high, here's your discount retracement. This is the candle that I referred to as well when we had that earnings move. But anyways, knife down into discount, bullish imbalance, swept liquidity. So far, so good. I see Microsoft going up to about 448. And at that point, that would be deemed as like my showtime imbalance yet again. And I want to see price get up and through there for an ultimate completion of the Mando model at 468.35. So that is Microsoft. It had some wicked flow last week. Also created a new bullish imbalance here. Looking pretty good. I think Apple is pretty similar, actually. We can run through that one, and then we'll go into what you guys had commented on X. So here's Apple. No signs of discount. No problem. Okay, here is your weekly from your low to your high. Here's your discount retracement into a bullish imbalance and also a bullish breaker. Low, high, lower, low, break up and through. Here's your new range. Here's your discount retracement, bullish imbalance, bullish breaker. So far, so good. Did we leave behind relative equal highs or did we sweep it? That's the next question right here. If we swept it, that retracement makes sense. Beautiful. Okay. So from this point, leaving this bullish imbalance here, I'd like to see price run up to 237 and ultimately complete my model on the weekly time frame. So those are just a few that I wanted to run on through there. And yeah, so yeah, no, this was a really, really fun week. I love it when we get it always seems to happen this way, but like when you have just like a big bulk number of Mando models completing at the same time, I love it. I love spamming Twitter. I know that's not good for the algorithm or whatever, but I just like to circle around and, because it's always the same. Every time we get that discount retracement and I put something out about us going back up to those highs, I get attacked for it. And it every time because this model is something that is repeatable and works. And yeah, I just love when people complain about it and they start yelling at me and trying to poke fun. And then it's like, oh, well, here I am. I had a funny one this week when there was a tweet back from October of last year that somebody tried to call me out, a friend of mine, but somebody tried to call me out and say, oh, Mando Trading thinks the bottom is in. Oh, we're going much lower, my friend, and then tagged a few of the other bears. And those other bears had a lot to say as well. And then I do like a monthly check-in with them, and I just see how they're doing. Well, my favorite one was, we are going so much lower, and I like to echo that one a lot. And yeah, it's just funny. That's your Discord, Furu. That's the Discord you're in, the one that tried to call lower prices at the absolute bottom in October of 2023. Sad. It really is. You guys got to really start doing some research before you hop on in there, but that's okay. Anyways, let me check these comments real quick. Okay. Yeah, hustle. Well, you could say that, but you did the work, man. You did there. So that's what hustle had to say. You did the work, man. You deserve it. That's all. That's why, when I get on people and I'm like, you guys do nothing, what do you expect? That's exactly what I mean. But anyways, that is my stuff. We'll go into the names that you guys have commented on X. Please comment them on X. I don't want them to get lost in the shuffle in here in the comments. As always, if I'm going through something and there's something that I say that is a little foreign to you, if it's not a basic concept that I've covered in here, I cover in the group, I have no problem answering it. But if it's something particularly related to what I'm talking about on the chart, I would, absolutely comment it and let me know. So, but let's do it. No problem there, Captain. All right, let's go. Okay, so we got a few here. All right, so we kind of covered in the video a little bit. We'll do that one really quickly, and I know we did SPY, but let's do it. Okay, so NVIDIA here on the weekly, from your low to your high, you got your discount retracement. So far, so good. We're playing pinball in between these imbalances thus far. We need to see one of these bearish imbalances kind of give it up. Once they give it up, then 140.76, that completes the Mando model there. But that's really the prerequisite for me. We have a bullish order block right here, which is good. If we break it down into a smaller time frame, the setup might even look better. Let's see. Okay, so on the daily time frame, you have your low to your high, you got your discount retracement. So the first little daily Mando model would complete up there at 130, 132. Now, if we're looking at it from this perspective here, we have that imbalance as well. Bearish order block that we're kind of rejecting a little bit here. I want to just see something. If we didn't get into discount, it's really not an opportunity for me. Could it go higher? Sure, but I would prefer to go into discount. Yeah, we didn't get down into discount. So this is really not a trade setup for me at the moment. Like, not as cut and dry as I feel Tesla, Pan, W are, but this could very well go higher. We do have a bullish imbalance just in premium. I don't want to buy the premium. Here's why. It's at 116. I think it's going to 120.79. So odds are I'm playing for 4 points. I would have to risk more than that just before we got into discount. I'd be risking $6. So I personally just prefer to buy things in discount. If it's not there, I'll move elsewhere. There's 100 names that we can look towards to do so. But that's just on NVIDIA. Ultimate direction, I think we go higher as well, but not as cut and dry. All right, let's look at DraftKings here. DraftKings, if I'm not mistaken, we talked about not last week, the week before, but DraftKings was a banger and remains the same. Okay, so if we were to look at DraftKings here, we can go back to our low. Whoops. Up to our high at $49. We got our discount retracement into a bullish imbalance, and so far so good. We've lifted off. Notice how these imbalances here are already filled. Very good. Yeah, at this point, at some point or another, 49.57 makes a lot of sense to me. Let's see if we could break this down a little bit more on the daily. And by the way, that completes the Mando model, 49.57. Okay. I need to just pay someone to look at these streams and just clip these up so that when I'm looking back, because I know I talk about a lot of these and they complete, and I'm just like, oh shoot, I didn't tweet that one. Okay. Same story here with your low to your high. There's your discount retracement. Here's your bullish imbalance. Okay. This is where the Mando model sets up. Okay. And then from this point, we anticipate run through highs. So our bias can be bullish for the next however many months it needs to take in order for us to get up to that 49.70. So where we currently sit, okay, we have buy side liquidity here. Okay. So from this point, a little bit of a retracement wouldn't be all that crazy. And we're getting into a untouched bearish imbalance here as well. Okay. So I fully anticipate that 403 getting slapped, 407 to be more specific. And from that point, it wouldn't be crazy to have a retracement on a smaller time frame from this. But let's just see. Low to your high, we did not get into discount. Okay, so the range is pretty big here. Okay, so it looks something like this if we were to go take that level. Discount pretty far away. I'm not really banking on that. But you're going to notice here, and again, this just goes into the, from a smaller time frame perspective, this really isn't like my favorite setup, just because we're really working with one imbalance here. We got another one here. But there aren't many imbalances on this road higher. It's kind of been grindy. Okay, here's another little imbalance that price got out of. So, not really my favorite setup from a smaller time frame perspective, but the weekly looks pretty good, pretty clear. Let's just see the monthly as well. And the monthly as well. We are inside a monthly imbalance. This is the one to beat. We beat this, then I think we can go back to those all-time highs, believe it or not. It's like that grace period when a company drops and it's like, and not drops as in goes lower, but like comes public. You set up your range and then it's like, okay, inside these next couple of years, like, is it a real company or not? Is it going to shift market structure bullish, or is it going to be a turd and just ultimately make its way lower? I think DraftKings is legit. I think it'll ultimately get up there, but this imbalance here on the monthly has been filled also. So but that's DraftKings. Looks good on a higher time frame, smaller time frame. I just don't really know how many like opportunities or how I can structure ideas on that smaller time frame with the lack of imbalances there. That's DraftKings. Let's go over to Micron. All right. Low to your high, you got your discount retracement into a bullish imbalance. Nice. Okay, so ideally next month for Micron, you create a bullish order block, meaning you get a monthly close above this month's open. That's the most encouraging thing. You got a couple imbalances here. A lot of the other semis do not, but we swept last month's low as well. So not bad, but this is going to be contingent on showing me some like urgency to actually put its foot in the ground and start moving higher again. Okay, here it is, low to your high. You got your discount retracement, swept liquidity here. So far, so good. Just a lot more imbalances here. So while I think ultimate direction over time, this could take a long time due to the fact that there's many imbalances, but ultimately I think it's going there. It's just there's a lot of imbalances in here, and that can take a while. It's like pinball. So every imbalance you get into, get in, bounce, 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 bounce. It's like that. So not interested for that reason. Short scalps, not bad. You can look towards that next imbalance and play it that way, but at least it's structured. You do have imbalances here that you can use as the basis of your trade for entry, exit, and stop loss. Everything is kind of, mapped out decently there. So, but not really one that I'm all that interested in. I like the layups. Okay. Here's Palantir. Okay. Beauty. Notice how, okay, so this goes back to the same thing as DraftKings, where it's like, okay, your initial IPO, you get your initial move, and now it's like, okay, prove it. Are you real? Are you fake? And the one giveaway here on Palantir was that we really didn't have any imbalances in discount of your range. And this is why, to me, Fibonacci, like if you don't have an imbalance, Fibonacci, look how well Fibonacci is working here with no imbalances. Yeah, just great, right? And it's not rejecting off of any of these levels. Okay, you need the imbalance in order for it to actually give you a move off there. So that's why I use Fibonacci to map, like to kind of map the range. and specifically for 50%. And really, when I'm trading intraday, I don't even really put these on that much. I kind of just do it to show you guys, but you can kind of eyeball 50% without having these on. So, um, so yeah. Um, yeah, Palantir looks great. I think 45 and a shift in market structure on the highest of time frames is inbound coming soon. Let's just look and see if there's anything left in the way on the weekly, because there could be little levels in the mix. Not quite now. Yeah, so Palantir looks good. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Okay, so let's keep going. I saw Surface just talked about Wing. We can do Wing. And that alert came up. All right, so let's see. Okay, so Wing is well in premium. So I'll tell you right off the bat, this is not something I want to long, not something I want to short. When I see a monthly imbalance to the downside, I'll be happy. Otherwise, nothing doing here for me. Okay, continuation up and through 431.03 looks like it's going to be the buy side target for another new all-time high. Sheesh, Wingstop balling. People love their wings. Anyways, AMD we did. We'll go to Amazon next. Okay, whoa. Okay, Amazon got down into your monthly bullish imbalance. So far, so good. 201.20 seems to be the draw on liquidity. Let's crunch it down into smaller time frames to make this work. You have your low to your high. Here's your discount retracement into your bullish imbalance. And we are in showtime. Okay, we're in the showtime imbalance. Could I see a rejection here? Get us down into this 183 before lifting off to 201? Yes, that's ideally what I would like to see personally. If we go straight shot, I got no chance of getting in this. But, preferably we would retrace back down into here and gone up to 201.20. So that is Amazon. Nice. Manual model completes at 201.20. Okay, we did NQ. We did AMD again. You're welcome there, BAMs. We did Palantir. We did QQQ, and we did AMD. All right, so that looks like it's gonna be it for us. Oh, okay. I see Surface did NEM. So Surface, I gotta give you props on this one, man. You cranked that. He absolutely crushed NEM. I wish we had. Well, we do, but it's a private recording. Where he talked about NEM, and this one has been absolutely great. So that's why I need to pay someone just to go and clip these up for me, because I just can't do it. Cannot do it. Okay. So where is it? NEM. Okay. So here, this is when he brought it up, swept that low back in January of 2024, and it has only gone up since that 33. I'm not sure if I tweeted it and tagged you or not, or if you tweeted it or what, but it was there. And yeah, really nice. So at this point, drawn liquidity 55.47. You got the rest of this imbalance. You got a couple imbalances overhead, so that could slow this train down a little bit following that move. But $20 off the lows. Who's complaining about that? Wouldn't be me. So yeah, another good one for Surface there. I don't know how. I think you were maybe in on Wing well prior to us getting together about a year and a half ago. But yeah, that thing has just been a straight shot up. But yep, Surface is great. Ryan Surface on X, and he's the one who called me out for calling the absolute low in October. I'm just busting your chops there. But yeah, so that is I think that's all I got. So if anybody has any questions, please reach out. Do it in a comment though. I really just don't look at the messages anymore on X. There's too many of them. It's overwhelming. I'm getting anxiety when I go through them. So yeah. So just comment if you have a question on one of my posts. I'll see that at least. That mailbox thing, I wish I could just remove it from the bottom, because I'm just really not looking there anymore. Okay. Unless I think if I follow you back, it'll go directly to me. Otherwise, it's just too much. Sorry. But so there's that. We talked about before, we had onboarding for anybody who's new. If you want to be on task and like be in the mix when we get into it back on October 1st, when we start to really roll with our live calls and everything like that, next week, the background that we're going to get into in this onboarding process that I'm going to do for the newer people, it's going to be pretty beneficial for you. You're not going to feel like you're overwhelmed or well behind. You're going to have at least a background basis idea of what we got going on here and how we kind of operate throughout the day. Um, and I think really I'm only going to be using that last month to take in new people. I don't know if I'm just going to shut it down, or maybe I'll just put something in there. Like, if you do not join in that last week of the month, then, just prepare for a much more, high impact entry, because we're going to be rolling. I don't want to stop everything that we're doing for the people who have been in the group for a while, or, have, done the work at this point to, you know, let the new people kind of get up to speed. So I'm going to dedicate a week to that, and then we're going to just get back rolling. Um, so there's that. What else did I want to talk about? I think that's it. I'll have a couple tweets coming out over the next 2 days, but I think that's really all I have. So, anyways, weekly prep, another one in the books. Let's keep on crushing it. I will. Oh, you know what? Let me do this. The real world here. Let's talk about the real world. Okay, the real world is a great way for fresh graduates to make money online. When is a better time to start a business than if you've graduated recently or in a job you hate? For $49.99 a month, thousands of people are making monthly online. And for graduates who don't feel like college has taught them how to build a business, the real world is the answer. All right. So that's all I got. I'll catch. Yeah. So October 1st, we're restarting in the group. It's going to be group exclusive EDU. We'll do one next week at some point, some sort of seminar for price reading. And then we'll, when the group is rolling, that's better. So we can really dive in and like kind of stay on task rather than me just kind of say it out. But all right, that's all I got. Have a good weekend, everyone. And as always, good luck.